So let's look at some common leveling behaviors. Now, this is by no means an exhaustive list, but it's just meant to give you a feel for the phenomenon. All right, so first one is what I call dancing monkey, or always having to be the center of attention. So a lot of guys who get into game are very, very shy. And at first, just putting themselves into a position to have people's eyes on them, put them into a position where they have to deal with social pressure is very difficult. And it actually is a very attractive quality. Because if you're willing to be the center of attention, if you can handle that social pressure at all, you're indicating you're not a 4 or 5 as a guy. You're indicating you're an above average kind of a guy. You can handle things, you can whatever. So it's attractive to girls. And in fact, a lot of times those guys will get girls like, oh, it was great that you were so crazy, or you did this thing, or you took the risk of approaching me, or that kind of stuff. So that's really, really good. And actually, per se, being willing to be the center of attention, being able to handle the pressure is a good thing. However, a lot of guys overdo this. They learn the lesson that it's useful and they treat it like a gimmick. They keep hitting that button and hitting that button, and they become the guy that can never shut up, never can chill out, can never just get one-on-one with a girl, build comfort, can never be normal, can never let someone else be the center of attention. And it starts to create holes in their game. It creates the hole where they have no comfort built in their game and they can't really be taken seriously. Or it creates the hole where it starts to look gimmicky, or it frustrates people around them because they clearly are unwilling to relinquish being the center of attention. And so it looks try hard, it looks like they have an agenda, it looks needy, and all of a sudden it doesn't work. That's an example of a behavior that actually has a lot of positive characteristics and works to a point, but beyond that point, it really doesn't work. Another one is impatient escalation or over-escalation. This is a very, very common one. So again, a lot of guys get into game and they haven't had a lot of success with women. They don't know how to get physical. Maybe they're even really nervous about getting physical. And then they learn that they can. They learn, oh, if I touch her a little bit, she's okay. Touch her a little bit, she's okay. And what happens is they get sort of comfortable with escalation, and they realize that when they escalate, things go better. And so then they start overdoing it. They start escalating and escalating and escalating. And they do one of two things. Either what happens is maybe they're out at a club or they're on a date, they make out with a girl, and then they keep wanting to go back to the well and they want to make out and make out and make out and make out. And what happens is it just becomes very predictable for the girl. She goes, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. Okay, I get it. And it's at the point where they're making out so much it's destroyed the sexual tension. See, at first there was no sexual tension and they learned to escalate to create it. And then they start overdoing it, and the overdoing of the escalation is actually destroying it. Whereas what they should be doing is it's kind of a weird thing. Once you know you can make out with a girl, once you know you can get physical with a girl, one of the best things to do is actually not do it. And she knows you can do it, you know you can do it, and she knows you're actually holding back and not doing it. It actually increases the sexual tension rather than decreasing the sexual tension. Or worse yet, even more than over-escalating, is maybe escalating impatiently. Like a lot of guys, when they get to intermediate, they fall into this like trying to sleep with every girl in 5 minutes, because maybe one time they slept with some girl in 5 minutes in a bathroom. Or maybe they just, they started making out with a girl like, oh, she likes me, I better get out of here. And they just don't know what else to do. And so they keep trying to it's kind of like a batter in baseball. He just gets up and just swings for the home run on every pitch. Every once in a while, he's going to hit a home run. He's going to remember, oh, I hit that home run. But what he's not going to think about is all the strikeouts he took along the way. And it's even worse in game, because the girl that would have slept with you in 5 minutes in the bathroom, if you'd been a little patient, she would have probably slept with you in 20 minutes back at your place. However, all those other girls that would have slept with you in half an hour or an hour, if you'd taken your time and maybe even become your girlfriends, by pushing for that 5 minutes, they go, oh, this is the cheesy guy who's trying to fuck me in 5 minutes. This is the guy who has an agenda. This is the guy who's needy, and you lose all of those. All right, so it's a very, very poorly calibrated method. And it'll work for the low-hanging fruit. You'll get the low-hanging fruit, but you would have gotten them anyway, and it completely obliterates your chances of getting the girls that have a little higher standards, the girls that require a little more social calibration, okay? So it's relying again on this gimmick to get you there. Let's look at an honest signal in fashion. Let's talk about a guy in a nice business suit, okay? Now, what does that say about him? That says he's not a total scrub, right? He could afford the suit. Also, maybe he's in a job where he has to wear a suit, so he has kind of a responsible, together kind of a job, right? So that's pretty good. Well, let's say he wears that business suit out to a really high-end, fashionable, top New York club, top LA club with celebrities in it. All of a sudden, that business suit is conveying the opposite. What's conveying is that he doesn't work for himself. He's not the boss, maybe. Or it's conveying that he just doesn't understand the fashion of that club, and he probably won't even get in, and he's going to have to pay money to get in. It indicates he's not part of that crowd, and it's an honest signal to the girls that he doesn't belong at that higher end. Okay, so on a certain level with like lowish end girls, like, oh, I love your suit, it's so nice that you're well dressed, it's so nice that you're responsible, and it works for them. But with like the 10s who are used to dating like celebrities or like NFL football players and stuff like that, it's not at that same level. It's indicating you're not a 3 or 4 or 5. It's also indicating you're not a 10. Okay, so that's another example of this sort of leveling behavior. A final example a lot of guys fall into is they learn that for girls who are not entirely like totally self-confident to the point of like rejecting guys left and right, i.e. girls are in that like 6, 7 range, maybe the occasional 8, a lot of times what works for them is being complimentary and then kind of like sweet. If you're complimentary, sweet, and you know how to escalate, you're gonna get a lot of girls of that caliber. And so guys will go in and they're very complimentary, very sweet, very nice, and then they know how to escalate, and girls love them for it, and they think they're so sweet, they think they're so nice, they enjoy the experience because it's very validating for them. However, when they get that same game and they're into a girl who's like a professional model, or a girl who knows she's hot, or a girl who's used to dating these really, really high-end guys. See, the funny thing is when a girl sleeps with the really high-end guys, usually it's not the guy that chased the girl, it's the girl that chased the guy, okay? Because in terms of social value, it kind of goes like most guys, like kind of average or cute girls, really hot girls, and then like the really, really, really top tier guys, right? Probably below the really like average hot girls, there's like pretty cool guys. So it's like most guys, mediocre girls, pretty cool guys, pretty cool girls, and then the very tip top is like the coolest guys in the world. Like for example, like Leonardo DiCaprio, Cristiano Ronaldo, most of the time they have girls chasing them rather than the other way around. And so the very high level girls are used to their boyfriends being guys they picked out and chased, right? And so when you have this very sweet type of game, this very like pursuing, complimenting type of game that's very heavily validating for the girls appreciate it and they enjoy it, but they know the whole time that they're kind of the one that's up here and you're the one that's down here and you're kind of hoping to get to their level. And so they'll allow you to sleep with them or they'll give in, but it's a very different blueprint than if they're actually chasing the guy. And so it'll help you really well to get like, 6s, 7s, the occasional 8. But when you get to like 9s and 10s, it's absolutely not going to fly. Because it's kind of, I call it like shooting bullets at the Titanic. You can hit it all you want. The bullets just aren't powerful enough to really make a dent. Okay? So that's like game that's like kind of too low powered. It doesn't have quite enough oomph to it. And what you need to do with those girls, you need to like have massive social proof, or you need to find a way to break rapport during your game and get them chasing you on some level, because otherwise it's just not registering as an event for them. They're so used to being told that they're pretty, etc., etc. So these are some examples of leveling behaviors. And as you can see, they're effective in one context, not as effective at a higher level of context. And the goal in game is going to be to learn things that are effective, not just in one context, but that can grow and build and be effective in all contexts. So that's what we're going to get into in the next video.